Hello and a very warm welcome to Game On. I'm Neha Bharadwaj-Alter and it's the eve of the second test between India and England and we have the preview for you. In the first test in Hyderabad, India's stronghold on home turf faced a setback when Ben Stokes' team staged a remarkable comeback, overcoming a 190-run deficit in the first innings to clinch victory. With that win, England go into the second test that begins tomorrow in Vizag as a confident outfit that can outplay India at their own game in their own backyard. Meanwhile, for India, their biggest worry will be the pitch and how their batters will tackle spin. And keeping that in mind, the net sessions have been turned into sweeping and reverse sweeping sessions, where coach Rahul Dravid was seen bowling gentle off spinners to Shubman Gill, who was sweeping on either sides of the wicket. It wasn't just Gill. Rajat Patidar, who's come in the squad in place of Virat Kohli, and Sarfaraz, who was added after an injury to KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja, were also deploying that shot in their batting practice. With injuries to KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja, one between Patidar and Sarfaraz is likely to get a test debut in Vizag. But given that Rajat Patidar was called into the squad before Sarfaraz, it seems Rahul Dravid and the team management will go for Rajat Patidar. But it will not be an easy choice. Left-arm wrist spinner Kuldeep Yadav is likely to replace Ravindra Jadeja after he was the first one to hit the nets. Jadeja brings variety in the spin attack and the management will know it will not be easy to play baseball against a quality wrist spinner. England captain Ben Stokes revealed the playing 11 on the eve of the second test. Stokes confirmed that Somerset off-spinner Shoaib Bashir will make his debut in Vishakapatnam and come in place of Jack Leach, who was injured during the second test. Bashir had arrived late to India due to a delay in his visa and linked up with the squad midway through the second test. Stokes also confirmed another change to the squad, with James Anderson coming into the playing 11 in place of Mark Wood, who went wicketless in Hyderabad. Interestingly, Anderson will play his 184th test of his career, while the rest of the bowling attack will have the experience of playing a total of 3 test matches. Now, when Ben Stokes was asked about whether the complication in Shoaib Bashir's arrival due to a delay in visa will have any impact on his performance, this is what he had to say. He said, and I quote, "He was just taking it all in, to be honest, landing from the UK that early." He says, then coming in and seeing what had gone on. Stokes said, "I think he really enjoyed being in that dressing room on day 4. Also goes on to say, "There's no worry and no issues for me that he's been away from the group for a period of time, then coming back in to make his debut. It's not like he's forgotten how to bowl." So Ben Stokes, the captain of England, sees no problem in playing Shoaib Bashir and feels that the complications with his arrival to India, that will have no impact on his performance. Stokes also spoke about James Anderson. Neither Bashir nor Rehan Ahmed were even born when James Anderson made his test debut. And when Stokes was asked about the legendary bowler, he was all praises. He said, and I quote, "Jimmy's experience, the class that he has is great. And I think it also goes under the radar how good his record in India is. Considering what Jimmy is going for, the swing king and all that, it just proves how good a bowler he is. He has different skill sets that I will be able to exploit in Indian, that he will be able to exploit in Indian conditions. It's not just picking Jimmy for the new ball, it's the other stuff he possesses as well. It's great that Jimmy is doing good things for the old boys out there. It's a huge credit and lots of people should look up to Jimmy considering he is where he is at 41. Talking about the Indian camp now, Indian wicketkeeper K.S. Bharat has stated that there is no fear in the Indian team after that 28-run loss to England and Hyderabad. He said, and I quote, this is in the pre-match press conference on the eve of the test match. He says, and I quote, "We are very good at bouncing back after 1-0, but this is a long test series and we definitely want to play some good brand of cricket." After the game, he goes on to say that the atmosphere is absolutely relaxed. The seniors, they told us not to panic, which we are not. As we as individuals have to focus on the good things and things which we want to do well and do it in the coming test matches. Bharat also gave credit to England in the way they fought back, especially vice-captain Ollie Pope, who disrupted Indian spinners' plans in the second innings. He said, and I quote, "They played really good shots. They are allowed to play good shots." Rohit Bhai was speaking to us. Jadeja on the lengths line, but at the end of the day, if someone batted well, you've got to give credit to them. He also goes on to add that Pope batted us out in the second innings. In cricket and in any sport, you have to learn and move forward. Now, while Ollie Pope from England swept Indian spinners, Indian batters struggled to dominate on the Hyderabad track. What went wrong with India's approach? This is what Bharat had to say. He says, playing in India, we play a lot of cricket on those tracks. This is, it's not that we don't know how to sweep, reverse sweep or paddle. But on that particular day, depending on the situation, we as batters take our calls. And it is very clear, he added, for us to bat with freedom. We also practice the reverse sweeps before the first game, but playing out in the center, it's the batter's individual plan. If the team demands us to play in a certain way, then we are up to it. But we individually have separate plans and looking to do well as batters. Now, the Vishakapatnam test can potentially decide the course of the 5-match series. India, firm favourites until the third day of the first test, are left with many tough questions to answer. So, can India still bounce back to win the remaining games as they did in the last home series against England in 2021? Of course they can, but it will not be easy to fill the gap created by the absence of Virat Kohli, KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja.
The bunch training under the watchful eyes of head coach Rahul Dravid and skipper Rohit Sharma go into the second test against England under immense pressure. A week ago, they were firm favourites to win the 5-match test series. But the loss in Hyderabad changed all that, and now they are trying to find answers to baseball, Ollie Pope and the English spin. That's not all. Injuries to KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja has added to the headache for the think tank.
You know, when there are so many players who are so experienced, they are match winner themselves, are not available due to personal reason or injuries. यार बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है किसी भी मैनेजमेंट के लिए कि कोई नया लड़का आए और उसे स्ट्रेट अवे प्लेइंग 11 में खिलाया जाए क्योंकि आप एक्सपीरियंस पे बैंक करना चाहते हैं. सो इट विल बी अ बिग चैलेंज. मेरे हिसाब से लुकिंग एट द सिनेरियो, अगर मैं वहां पे होता तो मेरे पास जहन में यही बात चल रही होती कि मैं यंग लड़कों के साथ जाऊं या एक्सपीरियंस के साथ जाऊं क्योंकि पहला टेस्ट मैच हार चुके हैं.
India may take a leaf out of their previous home series against England when they had bounced back after losing the first test in Chennai and won the series 3-1. Former India pacer Chetan Sharma was then chief selector of the Senior Selection Committee of India, a role that made him follow the talent pool in the country. Chetan is optimistic that India have enough resources to bounce back and win the series.
5 मैच की सीरीज है, ठीक है, उन्होंने किया, थोड़ा सा चौकन्ना कर दिया है, तो उसको भी सॉर्ट आउट करेंगे और मुझे पूरा 100% I'm sure.
England, following the 7-wicket burst by debutant left-arm spinner Tom Hartley, are contemplating an all-spin attack for Vishakapatnam test. However, without 3 seasoned pros, Virat Kohli, who opted out of the first 2 tests for personal reasons, KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja, both nursing injuries, India will need to put their act together for the test that could potentially decide the course of the series. Time will also be running out on Shubman Gill to end his prolonged run of failures.
Now, this one is for all the Sachin Tendulkar lovers. The Street Cricket League launch in Mumbai took Sachin Tendulkar, who was present at the event, down the memory lane to the days when he would play gully cricket with a tennis ball. The batting maestro was candid in sharing his childhood memories. Listen in.
When I have to talk about my childhood days, तो memory बहुत सारे memories है, मगर सबसे पहले तो यही कहना चाहूँगा कि हम बहुत शरारती थे. हर दिन कोई ना कोई कंप्लेंट घर में आती थी. पेरेंट्स यही सोचते थे कि आज क्या कंप्लेंट आएगी. मराठीत बोलायचं तर आज कोणाच्या खिडकीची काच तोडली किंवा गाडीच्या टायर मधनं हवा काढली किंवा काय अशा सगळ्या मस्ती करत असायचो आम्ही रेग्युलर. पण विथ ऑल दॅट वी वर ऑल्सो प्लेइंग ऑल स्पोर्ट्स. So be it hockey, football, cricket, and when it comes to tennis ball, of course, cricket, first thing everyone thinks of is tennis ball cricket. Yes, but along with that, when Wimbledon was on, then we would play hand tennis with a tennis ball. So the idea was to engage ourselves in sporting activities. But if I have to go back to those days, then we would have limited time to play after our school hours. There were few of us who had to go back and attend tuitions also, extra classes. Sometimes I was one of those. Most of the times whenever there was a tuition, मुझे somehow headache होता था. And when I started playing, I would feel better. So वो limited time में all the right-handed batters had to bat left-handed ताकि हम 2 innings खत्म कर सके. So all these rules we used to, have. But सभी का एक ही ड्रीम था कि हमारे जो मेरा बड़ा भाई था अजीत, तो अजीत भी एक क्रिकेटर था. Along with him, all his friends would play. तो वो एक एस्पिरेशन we would have, all of us, कि ना बड़ों के ग्रुप में खेलना है. They were like 10-12 years older than us. And बहुत बार तो हम लिटरली बॉल बॉयज जैसे ही होते थे कि वो फायदा लेते थे हमारे एज का. वी वुड फील्ड अराउंड इधर उधर, बट वी वुड टेक लॉट ऑफ प्राइड इन दॅट. तर ह्या ह्याच्यात कुठे ना कुठेतरी एक स्वप्न होतं की ना ह्यांच्यामध्ये जाऊन बॅटिंग केली पाहिजे एकदा. बिकॉज आय ऑलवेज बिलीव की ना दे वर 10-12 years ओल्डर देन मी, बट मैं मैनेज कर सकता हूं. सो after having played few junior level matches, my age group, I was one of the main batters, had scored runs. I got invited to play with my brother's group. और उस दिन जाके मैंने जब बैटिंग की and I came back and joined my friends. Naturally थोड़ा कॉलर ऊपर रख के मैं गया था और all that. So I felt कि ना मैं तुम्हारे एक स्टेप आगे हूं क्योंकि मैं ऑलरेडी इधर जाके इनके साथ खेला हूं. So they all wanted to follow my footsteps वहां पे. But the beauty was कि ना उस समय playing for India and all that never entered our mind because season ball cricket कभी शुरू ही नहीं हुआ था. But cricket की शुरुआत हुई टेनिस बॉल से. तो शुरुआत कहाँ होती है और वो जर्नी कहाँ तक आपको ले जाती है ये किसी को पता नहीं होता है. It's the passion and love for the game which takes you there. And in my life also, I mean, I experienced 24 years of international cricket. It was a beautiful journey, but the start happened with a tennis ball.
With that, we'll slip into a short break. When we return, we'll listen again to some of the other stories, anecdotes from Sachin Tendulkar. So stay with us.
तो जब हम करेंगे तो पता लग ही जाएगा. सलमान खान का करेंगे, मारेंगे ही, जोधपुर में मारेंगे तो पता लग जाएगा.
This is someone who is sitting inside our jails and is still very obviously and openly running and possibly the largest organized criminal operation in the country.
Student organization of Punjab University में सोपू का acting president type भी रहा है.
He was a troublemaker, getting into fights with people, not coming to the class.
As on Gill, it appears that Lawrence gang is the most important, the prominent gang. Gangs here in Punjab, they are intimidated.
Today he is India's most dangerous gangster, and India's presence are apparently no bar to how Bishnoi runs India's largest criminal empire.
News is now content. Just stream it. Download the world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Coming back to Sachin Tendulkar, now he had every shot in his repertoire, right? I mean, there were some beautiful shots that we got to see. Very difficult to choose the one that was, that stood out. But if one had to, then I would say that textbook straight drive, that was a standout shot. But how did he get to playing such a perfect straight drive? There's a story in how he perfected that art. Listen in.
We would want to play with our, seniors. तो मौका ज़्यादा नहीं मिलता था, but slowly with time, we became a part of their team also, and we started playing proper matches. That मगर दो बिल्डिंग के बीच में जो जगह थी, हमारा पिच था वहां पे, which was about 15-20 yards की width थी उसकी, क्योंकि दोनों तरफ बिल्डिंग्स थे और सामने मेन गेट. Wherever you hit the ball, you had to run and score those runs. But अगर सामने मारते हो तो गेट के बाहर अगर बॉल जाता है तो बाउंड्री मिलती थी, और सीधा ऊपर से गया तो छक्का मिलता था वहां. तो वो 6 रन की तो बात, वहां पे पहुंचने के लिए काफी समय लगा. वहां पहुंचने के लिए बहुत सारे विंडो पेन्स जो थे वो टूटे भी. आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर अ फनी इंसिडेंट कि जब कांच टूटती थी तो किसी को नहीं पता लगता कि बैट्समैन कौन है, क्योंकि बैट्समैन पहले बैट नीचे रख देता था, तो सभी फील्डर बन जाते थे. एंड एज अ ग्रुप अगर कोई डांटना चाह रहा है व्हाटएवर, तो एज अ ग्रुप वी वुड वो फेस द ब्रंट. मगर एक यूनिटी थी, वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग था कि कोई बोलेगा नहीं, मुंह नहीं खोलेगा कि बैट्समैन कौन था. फिर भी कंप्लेंट्स गए घर में, बट देन एज द टाइम वेंट बाय बहुत सारे चेंजेस हुए. सो और एक हमने रूल बनाया हुआ था कि खिड़की की कांच टूटती थी तो हमने एक रूल बनाया था कि अगर फर्स्ट फ्लोर के ऊपर बॉल लगता है तो द बैटर इज आउट. तो उसमें नीचे से खेलने की आदत हुई, मगर कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि 4 रन से पेट नहीं भरता है, 6 रन चाहिए. So then we started hitting the ball, and eventually, we kind of mastered how to hit in between those two buildings. And that continued, कहीं ना कहीं तो मैं कहूंगा कि इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में मैं स्ट्रेट ड्राइव मारता था और मेरा वो फेवरेट शॉट था. तो उसकी शुरुआत हुई साहित्य सहवास से टेनिस बॉल के साथ.
Now, Tendulkar eventually signed off with the most runs and centuries in international cricket, but he talked about an innings of just 1 run that gave him immense pride and satisfaction. Which innings is that? Listen to this.
हमारे जो कोच है वो बहुत सारे प्रैक्टिस मैचेस अरेंज करते थे, क्योंकि उनका बिलीफ था कि however much you practice, प्रैक्टिस मैचेस में जब तक आप जाके मैच में बैटिंग नहीं करते तब तक आप मैच टेम्परामेंट डेवलप नहीं करोगे. सो मेरा फर्स्ट मैच था लाइफ का, तो मैंने मेरे सारे साहित्य सहवास के दोस्तों को बुलाया था कि मैच खेल रहा हूं, आ जाओ. कॉलोनी का मेन बैट्समैन था, तो सारे दोस्त आए देखेंगे, और पहले बॉल पे मैं आउट हो गया, तो विच वॉज क्वाइट डिसअपॉइंटिंग. तो मैंने थोड़े बहाने बनाए, मैंने कहा कि एक्चुअली बॉल लो रह गया. वो सब हमारे गली क्रिकेट में चल जाता था कि बॉल नीचे रहे, क्योंकि पिच थोड़ा अनइवन हुआ करता था, तो वो सब मान गए. अगले मैच को मैंने उन्हें वापस बुलाया. अगले मैच में भी मैं पहले बॉल पे आउट हुआ, तो मैंने वापस कहा कि नहीं, ये बॉल थोड़ा उड़ गया वहां से, तो पिच का फॉल्ट था, मेरा फॉल्ट नहीं था. तीसरे मैच में मैंने डिसाइड किया कि बहुत हो गया, इनको बुलाऊंगा नहीं, उनका भी टाइम नहीं वेस्ट करूंगा, मैं जाऊंगा अकेला. और मैंने जाके तभी 1 रन बनाया था. मुझे याद है, आई थिंक अबाउट 5-6 बॉल खेले थे मैंने, और 1 रन पे मैं आउट हुआ था. मगर कहीं ना कहीं खुश था अंदर कि 1 रन बना के मैं वापस घर जा रहा हूं, शिवाजी पार्क से बैंड्रा को, कलानगर को. वो बस जर्नी वॉज अ प्लेजेंट बस जर्नी, बिकॉज आई हैड स्कोर्ड 1 run. दैट इज व्हेन आई रियलाइज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ अ सिंगल रन दैट इज स्कोर्ड. क्योंकि बाद में हमें सब बताते थे कि 1 run कैन कॉस्ट यू, आइदर जीत सकते हो या हार सकते हो. मगर इतना बड़ा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कि जो पहले 2 मैचेस में 0 बना के आता है और देन 1 रन बना के घर जाता है, मेरा मूड बदल दिया था 1 रन ने.
Now, the man who had earned his test cap at the age of 16 was once considered too young for under 15 age group cricket. He had to live with the agony of being rejected despite not missing a single ball during 3 rounds of trials. That changed the course of Sachin Tendulkar's life.
रिमेंबर कि हमारा अंडर 15 मुंबई के लिए सिलेक्शन ट्रायल्स थे, तो मैंने बैटिंग अच्छी की थी, 3 दिन हमें आना था। तो पहले दिन मेरी बैटिंग अच्छी हुई, मुझे सिलेक्ट किया गया था सेकंड ट्रायल्स के लिए। सेकंड डे भी बैटिंग बहुत अच्छी हुई, थर्ड डे के लिए मैं सिलेक्ट हुआ था, एंड अगेन आई हैड बैटेड वेल ऑन द थर्ड डे एज वेल। और उसके बाद वो लिस्ट अनाउंस होने वाली थी, वहीं पे उन्होंने बाद में नाम डिक्लेयर करने वाले थे, मगर उसके पहले बिकॉज माई ब्रदर हैड प्लेड, ही न्यू few coaches who were there, and one of the coaches told him कि ना अभी थोड़ा छोटा है, थोड़ा बड़ा होने दो उसको, बाद में हम कंसिडर करेंगे। when that is for under 15 teams, मैं कितना छोटा हो सकता हूँ, छोटा हो के, but I was not selected, which was a huge disappointment. मैंने सोचा नहीं था कि मेरा सिलेक्शन हो, क्योंकि 3 दिन में मैंने एक भी बॉल मिडल ना किया हो, ऐसा हुआ नहीं था। तो मैंने मेरे भाई को पूछा कि क्यों, क्या वजह है मुझे सिलेक्ट नहीं किया, क्योंकि मेरे बैट के सारे बॉल बल्ले के बीच में लगे थे, तो ऐसा क्यों? तो ही टोल्ड मी कि ना दे फील कि यू आर स्टिल स्मॉल, अभी है टाइम। तो कहीं ना कहीं तो गुस्सा भी था अंदर, डिसअपॉइंटमेंट भी थी। आई टोल्ड हिम कि दिस इज अनफेयर, कि मैं छोटा हूं, मेरा एज शुड नॉट बी द क्राइटेरिया यहां पे, मैं क्या कर रहा हूं, दैट इज व्हाट शुड मैटर। मैं अगर बैटिंग नहीं करता था ठीक, आई वुड हैव एक्सेप्टेड दैट। तो घर वानखेड़े स्टेडियम से घर आते हुए पूरी जर्नी आई वाज अपसेट, एंड आई केप्ट आर्ग्यूइंग विद हिम, एंड पेशेंटली माय ब्रदर एक्सप्लेन टू मी कि ना दिस इज नॉट द एंड ऑफ द जर्नी, इनफैक्ट योर जर्नी इज जस्ट बिगिनिंग। ये पहली बार मेरा स्टेडियम का इंट्रोडक्शन था, उसके पहले मैंने स्टेडियम कभी देखा नहीं था, स्टैंड में बैठ के देखा था, मगर वो महसूस नहीं किया था कि अंदर जाके कैसे लगता है स्टेडियम में। इट वॉज अ डिफरेंट फीलिंग फॉर मी। मुझे याद है कि उस दिन हमारा डिस्कशन घर में जाके जो हुआ, दैट इंस्पायर्ड मी अ लॉट। माय ब्रदर सेड कि दिस इज अ बिगिनिंग ऑफ अ न्यू जर्नी। मुझे पता है, मुझे भरोसा है तुम पे कि यहां से बहुत सारी बड़ी चीजें होने वाली है। एंड देन द फॉलोइंग ईयर आई वॉज काइंड ऑफ एन ऑटोमेटिक सिलेक्शन, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत मेहनत की उसके बाद, क्योंकि दर्द हुआ था और सारा जो गुस्सा था वो मैंने ग्राउंड पे उतारा, घंटों प्रैक्टिस की। आचरेकर सर ने मुझे गाइड किया, मेरे भाई ने मुझे गाइड किया, and I became the highest run getter उस साल जूनियर लेवल पे, because my hopes were alive. There was a target in front of me. Next year जब मैं वानखेड़े स्टेडियम पे गया, तो I would say kind of an automatic selection, क्योंकि रन्स बनाए थे, विकेट्स भी लिए थे। So the message I'm trying to give cricketers here कि disappointments आते ही रहेंगे लाइफ में, कि ये नहीं कि एक बार डिसअपॉइंटमेंट आई और वंस यू ओवरकम दैट, इसके आगे चैलेंजेस नहीं आने वाले। चैलेंजेस तो रहेंगे टिल द लास्ट डे ऑफ योर क्रिकेट करियर, ISPL करियर, challenges will be there. Embrace those challenges and focus on finding solutions rather than focusing on challenges and problems. Problems don't lead you anywhere. Solutions will lead you to somewhere where you aspire to be.
There's a reason why he was the greatest of all time, the greatest cricketer of all time. And in that interview, you got to see that reason, that understanding of how he approached his game and how he approached success as well as failure. So much to learn from the legendary Sachin Tendulkar, but we'll move on to golf. And the PGA Tour has secured a $3 billion investment from a consortium of US sports team owners. A part of the deal will also allow co-investment from Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. The deal with Strategic Sports Group will give the US-based circuits players access to more than $1.5 billion as equity owners in the new PGA Tour enterprises. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan will be the CEO of the new enterprise. Monahan said the deal marked an important moment for the PGA Tour and golf fans around the world. He went on to add that by making the PGA Tour members owners of their league, the tour will strengthen the collective investment of its players. He also said that the deal would enhance the organization's ability to make golf more rewarding for players, tournaments, fans and partners. The PGA Tour also said it is still negotiating with the PIF, which controls Live Golf, on a potential future investment, and both parties are working towards an ultimate agreement. Yannick Sinner is enjoying celebrations ever since his return to Italy after winning the Australian Open title on last Sunday. On Wednesday, the 22-year-old was a special guest of Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Thereafter, the fourth Grand Slam champion from Italy was greeted by the media. Talking to the press, he credits his parents for instilling in him the value of hard work. Sinner, who beat Russia's Daniil Medvedev in the marathon final on Sunday, was all praise for his parents.
My parents, they are special because when I went back from home, from school, my parents were not there, they were working, and I used to go always to ski because I had ski training from 2 to 4. When I came back around 4:30, my mom used to be at home, but I went to play tennis sometimes a little bit or football, so I was not that much at home, and I think that's the kind of mentality they gave me to, you know, if you want to reach something, you have to work.
With that, we're going to wrap this show up, but all the Lionel Messi fans, there's a match on today between his team Inter Miami and Al Nassr club, but Ronaldo will not be playing because of a calf injury, so that potential face-off, that's not happening. Nevertheless, you can watch the game. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
There is certainly a wall of capital coming into the clean tech, climate tech space, not just in India but across the world.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
We have more than 50 flyovers in Bangalore city. If flyover is a solution to traffic problem, Bangalore should not have traffic problem.
According to TomTom Traffic Index 2022, Bangalore is ranked as the second worst city in the world when it comes to traffic.
The speed limit at the ORR is 80 kilometers per hour, but our vehicle has only moved 10 kilometers per hour.
What Bangalore needs is a surgery, but what we have been offered repeatedly are band-aids.
Only on the world's first news OTT. News 9 Plus. Ahead of the curve.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put on your aprons and grab your popcorn. I'm Chef Kunal Kapoor और हाँ, मैं हूँ फिल्मी. And I'm excited to bring you the most masaledar cuisine inspired by our favorite चटपटी Bollywood movies. और मुझे ऐसी डिशेस को अपने किचन में रिक्रिएट करना है. All the world's a stage and all the men and women are merely players. कहानियां और किरदार एक सिक्के के दो पहलू हैं. जहां एक किरदार का रोल खत्म होता है, वहां दूसरा किरदार उसकी कमी को पूरा करता है. शर्मा जी नमकीन मूवी से अच्छी मिसाल क्या हो सकती है? शर्मा जी नमकीन marks the last on-screen appearance of Rishi Kapoor. Unfortunately, the legendary actor passed away in 2020 before completing the film. If you love food, you love शर्मा जी नमकीन. अभिनेता ऋषि कपूर की आखिरी फिल्म की यादें भी ताजा होंगी. कचौरी के अंदर प्याज की कचौरी काफी मशहूर है. कचौरी का जो पूरा सीन है कुछ इस तरीके से है कि पूरा राजस्थान, यूपी, कोलकाता वो आपस में भिड़े हुए हैं कि भाई कचौरी उनके यहाँ पर पहली दफा बनी थी. जी हाँ, कचौड़ी तीखी पिट्ठी और स्ट्रॉन्ग हींग के साथ बना हुआ ये जो नमकीन है ये बहुत ही ज्यादा टेस्टी होता है. और राजस्थान, यूपी, बंगाल इन सब के बीच में डिबेट चलता है. सब क्लेम करते हैं कि जी पहली दफा कचौड़ी हमारे यहाँ बनी. अब कहाँ बनी ये तो कहना मुश्किल है इस वक्त, लेकिन जहां जहां पर भी ये बनती है वहां वहां एक बढ़िया फ्लेवर और अलग ही अंदाज में सर्व होती है. चाहे वो राजस्थान की हो जो थोड़ा सा तीखा खाते हैं, या फिर बंगाल की हो जो उसके अंदर थोड़ा सा प्याज डालकर थोड़ी सी मिठास डालते हैं प्याज की. वहीं पर अगर आप जाते हैं बनारस तो वहां पर कचौड़ी सुबह सुबह आपको मिलती है आलू की भाजी के साथ. कोई दावे से तो